You often prepare and legislate for potential, and the more that you give judges to work with, the better. You could exempt LGBT from discrimination under your bill expressly. You could push at the same time to protect LGBT as a class in your state, which is right now not the case, and that would ensure what you say you care about, which is that this law is not used to discriminate. Because as it stands right now, if the baker wants to not get involved with gay marriage, they'll be able to use this law as a defense. Isn't that the truth?
Well, let me be clear about that. The situation you just described can happen under Georgia law today.
Right.
There's nothing about Senate Bill 129 that impacts that. There are 236 members of the Georgia General Assembly.
Right.
If someone wants to come forward and propose a law that has to deal with statewide non-discrimination, I'm ready to have that discussion.
Well, why isn't
I'm ready
that
to have that debate.
Why aren't you folding it into this?
But the fact of the matter is, this is about protecting the right of free exercise. And despite the attempts of the far left outrage machine and their allies in some media organizations, it's not about mistreating anyone, and it's never been used to mistreat anyone. I've never seen a political debate where the opposition, as you said, you do legislate for potential. If that potential has been realized in any sort of reality, if we're going to legislate for every potential case that could come before a court, then we're going to need to draft hundreds, thousands of statutes to address every potential exercise of religious liberty. And if that's the case, we may as well not move forward with the law to begin with. Well, and that was the point I was making in the House Judiciary Committee last week.
But that is a legitimate point of pushback, and that is the question about, well, why are you motivated to do this law? Is it really about student groups? You know, is it really about that, or is it about protecting people
who are being mistreated?
But is it about protecting them?
It's about protecting the right of free exercise.
Right, free exercise in what context?
Individuals in this state who are being mistreated by government.
Right.
It's happening all over our state. And the one thing that's the common thread through all of these examples is none of it involves anyone being mistreated because of their sexual orientation. And I cannot believe that we are continuing to have this discussion when there's 22 years of case law on the books showing that the other side is being dishonest and disingenuous in this debate.
But here's the point, Senator. You don't have any pattern you can point to of widespread discrimination against Christians. And if there were to be any, you could go to court right now over that, because Christians are a protected class. So the idea that they need a law to protect them from discrimination doesn't really make a lot of legal sense. And as we see in Indiana and Arkansas, both sets of supporters for their original laws said the same thing you're saying now. And when they got pressure from business and other states, they then all of a sudden had this epiphany and wound up changing their laws to make them like the federal law, because they didn't start that way, and neither does yours. And you've admitted that under your law, you could discriminate if you wanted.
The Senate Bill 129 as introduced was the Federal Religious Freedom Restoration Act. And I understand that other states are seeing the wisdom of the approach that I took here in Georgia from the beginning, and I think that's great. I think we should mirror the federal law because that's a safe harbor. That's something that everybody can appreciate. But let me take issue with something else you said.
Please.
We had a young woman here in Douglasville, Georgia, who was wearing a headscarf that was part of her religious faith, and she was ordered by a judge to remove that headscarf. Now, under current Georgia law, that judge can get away with it. Under a Religious Freedom Restoration Act, she wouldn't be asked, if she had to participate in the judicial process, to violate her sincerely held religious beliefs by removing a head covering that is an essential part of her sincerely held religious belief. So it is a real problem. It is occurring in this state, and that's why I'm bringing the bill forward.
So headscarves are more of a concern for you in drafting this bill than insulating people of conscience from having to deal with gay marriage. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that this bill is designed to protect people of faith all over this state from all walks of life, and it has absolutely nothing to do with mistreating any group.
All right, Senator, thank you very much for coming with us at the beginning of this process. Let's see where it goes. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.